Welcome to Talk and Do with CPDI, a program where we talk Nigeria as it is and do Nigeria as it ought to be. I am Babajide Michael Olusegun, and with me in the studio is...
My name is Chris Nwani.
Yeah, today we will be talking together and discussing the Nigerian Constitution, particularly Section 13 of Chapter 2 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 as altered in 2023. This program is produced with support from a New Nigeria is Possible team. Chris, could you tell us more about A New Nigeria is Possible?
Yeah, A New Nigeria is Possible vision is actually a decision made by a group of Nigerians, or let me put it, a group of concerned Nigerians who have been individually, looking at how do we play a role in creating a Nigeria of their dream. Somehow, nature brought all of us together, and each person was doing something different on his own. We have different NGOs who are now in a coalition, have decided to pursue this dream of a new Nigeria together. So the New Nigeria is Possible represent every group of Nigerians who are ready to actually do something to make sure that we have the new Nigeria. Okay,
so to avoid competition and more of collaboration,
exactly,
to ensure that we birth the Nigeria.
Because it's a collective interest.
Yeah.
It should be a collective effort.
Yeah.
It should be a collective vision.
Yeah.
To see a Nigeria that works.
Yeah, thank you very much for that. So before we delve into the heart of the matter, I think it's important that we start with God. And so I will just say the second stanza of the national anthem. Yeah, so I will say, O God of creation, direct our noble course, guide our leaders right, help our youth the truth to know, in love and honesty to grow, and living just and true, to great lofty heights attain, to build a nation where peace and justice reigns. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
Amen. So having said the prayer, we now move to the Vox Pop segment for today's discussion. Before we start the discussion, we'd like to hear from Nigerians what they think about the Nigerian Constitution in general, and particularly Section 13 of the Constitution, which is the crux of our discussion for today. Stay tuned. We will be right back. Welcome to the Vox Pop segment of Talk and Do with CPDI. Today, I will be engaging Nigerians on a very important question. And what is this question? Stay tuned to find out. I would like to ask you what you know about the Nigerian Constitution.
Nigeria? Okay, let me start by saying Nigeria is a blessed country. It's blessed because it has many resources, many agriculture in it. But will I say the people in the country make it look like it's no longer the blessed? We are seeing the opposite side of it because of it's now very difficult, especially for the poor masses. They find it difficult to eat. Some poor people find it difficult to eat, even 2 square meals at a time. So the blessing is just the opposite side of it.
Okay, but I would like to ask, have you seen the Nigerian Constitution before?
Have I seen? No, I have not.
What do you think those who exercise legislative powers should be doing in today's Nigeria?
Most of, first of all, I would say the legislative members, especially from the House of Representatives, to me, they're not doing their jobs. Why I'm saying that is considering the fact that most of these guys, they leave the constituencies they're supposed to get information regarding issues that the challenges that those communities are facing. They leave, they come stay in Abuja basically. Some of them, they don't even have houses here. They pay for hotels year in, year out, where they will be staying whenever they're within Abuja, or they even stay here. So at the end of the day, the challenges the people are facing back home, they don't get the first-hand knowledge of what's going on. And at the end of the day, the representation they are supposed to be bringing in order to tackle those challenges are not there. Why? Because they are not there to know what exactly is going on. So they cannot say what they don't know. So at the end of the day, they are there just to bag the money. They go back, and that's how the cycle continues until there is a change in government generally. People with different mindset, different ideology concerning government. I don't think we're heading anywhere.
Okay, so you said something about, until there is a change in government. So I'm saying now that the Nigerian Constitution that governs those in government and regulate our lives as citizens of Nigeria, it has several ways, it provides for several means by which government can be changed. So I'm asking if you know any of those means.
First, I don't really think Nigeria has a constitution so long I'm concerned. Yes.
Okay, so you don't believe
I
that
don't
Nigeria
think
has
there's
a constitution?
because if there's a constitution, some of the things we've seen, they won't be there. Is it the judiciary? Is it the military, paramilitary? The whole thing is a mess.
Okay, what if I tell you that there is a Nigerian constitution?
I'll believe you, of course, but I don't see it working.
Okay, the thing is, the Nigerian constitution cannot operate itself. It requires people like you and I to operate it. And because whatever you don't have, you cannot give. And they say knowledge is power. So it starts by knowing what the constitution says. So I would like to ask you, if I give you a copy of the constitution, would you accept and read it?
Definitely, I would. Considering what you just said now, you made mention of the fact that the government starts from us, basically, and whatever it is that has to do with the constitution, if I don't understand it properly, there's no tendency of me working towards even making the government the better one from my own angle as well. I believe that's a point.
Okay, so I'll share the Nigerian Constitution with you, and I would also like to let you know that Chapter 2 of the Nigerian Constitution provides a lot of solutions to our problems. So, take for instance, Section 14 of that chapter says that sovereignty resides in the people, and it is only through the people that those in government exercise their powers in accordance with the Constitution. And also the several means by which those in government can be removed from office, especially those in the National Assembly and Houses of Representatives, is the process of recall. So, but you cannot recall a lawmaker if you as a citizen, you are not interested in knowing the process for recalling. And the other alternative is where the people in the National Assembly or in the houses of assembly, where they really feel the pulse and frustrations of the people, they can actually remove the president, and they have the power to remove the governor. But we cannot insist on any of these things if we, the people, who have all the powers, as the Constitution says, we don't know that we have that power, and we don't know how to exercise it. So thank you very much for agreeing to read the Constitution, and thank you for speaking with me. So I would like to ask Martha and Raphael if you have seen the Nigerian Constitution before. Have you seen the Nigerian Constitution before?
Sir?
Have you seen the Nigerian Constitution before? Have you seen it before?
No.
No, really. Not really.
Not really, or no?
No.
Okay, so it means you've not read the Constitution since you've not seen it before. Okay, but when you hear legislative powers, executive powers, judicial powers, what comes to your mind?
Like, I don't understand.
Okay, when you hear executive powers, who comes to your mind when you hear executive powers?
I don't know how to put it to, but I don't. Sure, me, I don't used to listen to radio, like anything about Nigeria. I don't know anything about Nigeria all the way.
The executive power, according to the Nigeria, how the Nigeria is going to. So the executive power is like how the government or is doing the Nigeria now.
Okay, but what do you think the governor of a state should be doing? What do you think the role of a governor is?
What I think is that the fuel or the road and we need freedom and good health in Nigeria. So the thing is that we don't have freedom in Nigeria. we don't have good road and any other good things. If you can see everywhere, food is very expensive in Nigeria.
Why do you say we don't have freedom? Are you in slavery?
No, because why I mean that you don't have freedom in Nigeria, if when everything is, and you know that things is so difficult for us now, so when everything is very easy for us, you will have freedom of movement or anything. You know that now that everything is cost now, you don't have freedom. If you want to go to anywhere now, like before they used to transport from Benue State to Abuja at 2,000, but now 7,000. But if you check about the transport and everything, you can't move. And when you get there now, food is so expensive here. So you don't have any money to buy food or buy anything. It's very difficult.
How market they go?
We thank God. We thank God for everything.
Okay, you don't see Nigerian Constitution before?
Yes, so
That's good. You don't read chapter 2 of the Nigerian Constitution?
even this one what they do, maybe chapter.
Oh, this one where they do that chapter.
Chapter.
Okay, wait till I be say that document where they call Constitution. You don't open them before, you don't read them.
I never read them before.
Okay, but when you hear governor, you hear senator, what thing you think say their job supposed be? May we start with senator. When you hear senator, what thing you think say the work of senator supposed be?
Not to help us for Nigeria, but nobody want help us. Everybody they facing own life.
Okay, when you hear justice of Supreme Court, you hear president of Court of Appeal, what do you think say his job supposed to be?
Not to judge case for us, but now that to judge, if you don't get money for this country, nobody go support you until you get money.
Okay, now until you get money, Nigeria go work for you, Abi?
If not be so, if you say you this kind come while they roast like, who go help you? Nobody they you own.
Okay, but I want to ask you, say, if person give you Nigerian Constitution now, say because say waiting did that Constitution fee help help your business and everything, you go collect them.
Sharp, why not go collect that? We speak, say I go leave this condition why then.
So it means say you go read the Constitution if they give you the Constitution now.
Yes, that means I help that now, so I go need them.
Okay, because say for that Constitution, you get one chapter where they call chapter 2. That chapter 2 talks say your life, so now the way your life go better, now the responsibility of those way they government. So they should do everything we go make your life better, we go secure your business, we be say your business no go crash and everything. So but if you don't know that, how you want take ask say me then do them. So now why we be say they very important may you read the Constitution. Thank you very much for agreeing to speak with me, ma'am.
You're welcome.
All right, have a lovely evening.
Thank you.
I go buy come for you after this interview. Welcome back to the Talk and Do with CPDI show, a program where we talk Nigeria as it is and do Nigeria as it ought to be. So, Chris, we've listened to Nigerians talk about Nigeria and the Constitution. What are your initial reactions to what you heard?
Wow. Before now, I know we actually have a problem, but listening to these responses,
Yes.
from the ordinary Nigerian, further brought out to the fore, why those problems? Because sometimes you have a problem and you don't know the reason, but listening to them actually brought out, a clear version of why where we are.
Where we are.
Yes, as a people. And, it's really everything about life begins with a foundation.
Yes.
And when a foundation
is
faulty, everything is destroyed. For the fact that, we are looking at these people at this level, go to the ordinary Nigerians who are well read, who even know, their onions and everything. They got all the degrees.
Yeah.
They don't know. They've not read the Constitution. And it's amazing, and we can come out to talk about a country. Let me give you an example. Anything you do not know,
Yes.
you cannot believe.
Okay.
See, the reason we don't believe in Nigeria is that we don't even know Nigeria. And we're not seeking to know what our country represents. To us, Who is Nigeria?
Yet our constitution says we
the people.
Start with
You don't even know yourself. So want to talk of how to manage, the other aspect of you. Because these are important things. So most times, sometimes we talk and we say we lack knowledge. Some people will be imagining, but we went to school, we did this, somebody is a PhD holder, somebody is a professor. Yes, but knowledge of your country is a primary responsibility of every citizen. And it's also a responsibility of the government to ensure that every citizen know about their own country and what they represent in that country. So, but over the years, what have we seen? We've seen leadership change hands. Nobody has actually instituted it as a responsibility. So people come, go through primary school, go through secondary school, without knowing what Nigeria. Today, if they tell you who is Nigeria, some people may not have answer to that. Unknown to them that they are Nigeria. If you abuse Nigeria, you don't know you are abusing yourself. So this central issue that we don't know yet has become the basis of our citizenship and then what we are going to become tomorrow.
Okay, so now the crux of our meeting today, the reason why we are in this studio today is to examine a section of the Constitution, section 13 of Chapter 2 of the Nigerian Constitution.
Yes.
The aim, of course, is to help Nigerians understand why we should not be where we are, because Chapter 2 already says and provides a lot of solutions to our problems. It says where we should be.
Yeah.
That is what Chapter 2 is all about. It
Exactly.
says this is where Nigeria should go. It's called, that chapter is titled The Fundamental Objectives and Directive Principles of State Policy.
Yeah.
Aha. So let's listen to section 13. It says,
Kundin tsarin mulkin tarayyar Najeriya na 1999, sashi na 13, wajibi ne da kuma alhakin dukkan wasu sassan gwamnati da dukkan hukumomi da mutane masu aiki da ikon majalisa, masu zartarwa ko kuma shari'a, su bi su kuma zama masu kiyayewa da aiwatar da tanade-tanaden wannan babi na wannan kundin tsarin mulki.
Usoro ọchịchị obodo anyị bụ Nigeria. Isiokwu nke abụọ, nkeji nke 13 akpọrọ ya isi ọrụ dịịrị ndị gọọmenti. Ọ ga-abụ ọrụ dịịrị ngalaba ọchịchị gọọmenti niile na ndị isi ọchịchị niile na ndị mmadụ niile nwere ikike imebi iwu, ikike ezekutiv ma ọ bụ ikike ọkaikpe ịkwado, leba anya ma mekwa ihe niile edere n'isiokwu nke usoro ọchịchị a.
Apá kẹtàlá ti ìpín kejì ti ìwé òfin àgbà orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà ní Yorùbá yóò jẹ́ ojúṣe gbogbo ẹ̀yà ara ìjọba àti gbogbo aláṣẹ àti ènìyàn tí ó ní agbára ìṣòfin, àṣẹ pípa àti ẹjọ́ dídá láti wà pẹ̀lú ìbámu, láti ṣàkíyèsí àti láti ṣe ìmúlò gbogbo ìpèsè ìpín kejì ti ìwé òfin àgbà orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà.
so the question we should be asking now is, if those in government exercising all of these powers, if they are to observe Chapter 2, to uphold Chapter 2, and as the Constitution says, to apply its provisions, then what is Chapter 2 all about? What do you think?
Really, the day or the first time I read Chapter 2 of the Constitution of Nigeria, I was reading and I was imagining whether I'm truly... It was the country that, yes, because the country I was reading there, I can't find it.
It's not in your reality.
It's not in my reality at all. You understand? Okay. But come to think about it.
Yeah.
See, I realized while reading that chapter that I'm a great Nigerian. There are rights that I have. Even at this moment, I've not seen those rights come to play. But it gives me hope for the future that these rights will come to play one day. But that took me to, why am I not having these rights?
Okay, so there are like 12 sections in that chapter. In your view, which is your favorite section? Do you have any that you can think of on the spot?
Yeah, especially that one that said that sovereignty.
Section 14.
Yes. Belongs to the people.
Maybe I should read it.
Yes, please.
It says that section 14 now, subsection 2. It is hereby accordingly declared that sovereignty belongs to the people of Nigeria.
Yes.
From government through this constitution derives all its powers and authority.
It's awful.
So we are going through all of this because we, the people, are allowing them to do it.
No, we do not know. That's where we're going. But, it's important to state this clearly.
Okay.
See, anything you do not know, you do not believe. We are speaking the way we're speaking now because we know.
Okay.
You understand? So that knowledge is power. And that's why what we're doing in CPDI is very important. Because until we take our time to mentor ourselves and bring this into our knowledge, whereby we own it, then you can now run with it with courage.
And zeal.
Because you know that you are not just doing something wrong.
Yeah.
You are upholding your dignity.
Of course.
A citizen of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Why is it that we are not proud of being citizens of Federal Republic of Nigeria? Because we do not know what it entails to be a Nigerian. That's it. And all these things were stated in chapter 2 of the Constitution. And that's why it's important. If you ask me, I rather want this Constitution to be duplicated in different Nigerian languages so that people will understand what it entails. The problem we have as a people, as a country, is that we do not know who we are, what we represent, what Nigeria is to us, and what we are to Nigeria.
Mentioning this, you begin to ask yourself that, so what is the National Orientation Agency of Nigeria doing?
Exactly.
This, translating the Constitution into the indigenous, at least the 3 major languages of Nigeria. And I took it upon myself sometime to begin the interpretation. I'm a Yoruba boy, so I took it upon myself to begin the interpretation, translation rather, of the chapter 2 into Yoruba. And I was looking for, those that can do the Igbo and the Hausa translation, and it was a very difficult task. Even the translation, honestly, was not easy because I may have been brought up among the Yoruba-speaking Nigerian, but in our place, in the schools where I went to, they say, don't speak vernacular.
Exactly.
Though they were teaching us Yoruba, but they will say no.
You only speak Yoruba during Yoruba lesson.
Yeah, during Yoruba lesson. After that, in fact, it was even my Yoruba teacher that was enforcing the don't speak vernacular rule and policy of the school. My Yoruba teacher.
Imagine that.
So, and it is just very sad. Nevertheless, thanks to Google, I was able to do a few of those translations. But looking at what we've heard from the Vox Pop, we are agreed that people don't know.
Yeah.
So what other issues can we raise from the Vox Pop that we listen to?
Well, looking at it, I think I can take something that gladdens my heart. That the people are willing. They say they are willing. If giving. So now, it's not about the people now. And, we need to state things clearly. So we can also encourage the people. We know for the fact that a lot of things have failed. When you talked about National Orientation Agency, for example, it's part of government. Abi?
Yes.
Government, since we know, over the years, has been failing in all their responsibilities, including orientating the general public on what they should know and how to do things. This is supposed to be their responsibility. Because if you train the citizens, knowing they are the one that will build their nation, that's when they learn how to obey rules and regulations. That's when they learn how to respect their country, to defend the integrity of their nationality. These are issues that we've not seen. It's not been in practice. So like you said now, they said leadership is about taking responsibility. Leadership is not about having a position. It's about taking responsibility. What CPDI is doing now is taking responsibility to interpret the Constitution to the people so that they can understand.
Okay, now talking of interpreting the Constitution, interpretation is not the job of every Nigerian.
I know.
It is the job of an organ of government. That is the judiciary.
Yeah.
So the judiciary is saddled with the responsibility. It has the judicial powers of interpreting every law that is enacted or passed in Nigeria. And I'm going to say this because of my legal background.
Yeah.
So there's a problem with Chapter 2 as it is. During my constitutional law class in the University of Lagos, I recall that we were told that this chapter is non-justiciable.
Yeah.
We were taught that it is not justiciable. So if government does not comply with what Section 13 has said, that all those exercising those powers must enforce the provisions of this chapter. If they are not doing it, we can't sue them, we can't say anything, we can't complain, we can't go to court, because there is an earlier section in the same constitution that says that no court would exercise any power for the determination of whether or not the provisions of Chapter 2 have been upheld. What are your reactions to this?
Well,
you are not a lawyer now.
Yeah, but
as a Nigerian.
As a Nigerian. You know, but I also look at the law aspect of it, because see, when things are not right, you need to correct it. You know, when you are doing a particular thing in a particular way and it's not yielding results, the best thing is to correct it, whether you're a lawyer or not a lawyer. Now, I'm taking it from this point that the Constitution of Nigeria do not need a lawyer to interpret it to individual knowledge. We all need to. It's when criminality is involved, that is when the court begin to interpret. I don't know if you understand. Like now, I know I'm a citizen of Nigeria, and I'm abiding by the laws of the Federal Republic, and I do not offend anybody. I may never go to court to seek the advice of a lawyer, you know, to interpret the law. It's only when a law is now violated, that's when they begin to interpret it. And like we said, you know, if we are going to get these things we are talking about right, we should say the things the way they are.
I'm not sure a lot of lawyers would agree with you on this.
Yes, they may not agree, but as a citizen, you know, because the Constitution is your property. It's my property.
So we the people.
We the people.
Doesn't say the lawyer.
No. It's when criminality comes, and like I'm saying, I may not go to court to interpret the Constitution, but I know the Constitution. I know my right. You can't violate my right. And I will always stand up, and that's why we're asking every Nigerian. For example, a woman was saying there that they said free and fair election.
Yes.
And then there was no, you know, during the last election that they voted and it does not count. We have lawyers that interpreted the law and said it counted.
They interpreted it on social media and on
you understand?
television screens.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, you know, a constituted authority who are the judiciary also interpreted and said it was okay. And we all believe
it was free and fair.
That we all believe it was okay. But some people are saying, you see that the woman, is not a lawyer, but he has given his own interpretation as a citizen. So we all have the freedom to speak. And if you say something is okay, but it ends up not to be okay, tomorrow another person can give another interpretation, and it could be a lawyer who now have the full authority to speak in that manner.
You know, Chris, as you were talking, listening to you talk about you don't need the court to interpret the Constitution, you can read and all of that. I recall quickly that there is actually a Court of Appeal decision that talks about how this Chapter 2 can be brought to life. And that decision is a 1981 decision of Okogie, Archbishop Okogie, the Attorney General of Lagos State. And the Court of Appeal said clearly that the final arbiter of whether or not Chapter 2 has been complied with or not is either the electorate or the legislature. So basically, the only people that can breathe life into Chapter 2 are those who go to the polls to vote. So if I'm going to vote now for maybe Chris at a presidential or governorship election, my questions should be at the polls: what is the manifesto of Chris? Is it compliant with Chapter 2 of the Constitution? As Chris told me how he's going to implement Section 18 of Chapter 2 that says that education up to university level should be free.
And is he going to provide it?
And is he going to provide it?
Good.
And when he doesn't provide it, what are the other steps to take? Now, the other dimension where the electorate is not doing this is the people representing the electorate in the legislative houses. Basically, all 200 million Nigerians cannot be talking at the same time.
Exactly.
So we need mouthpieces.
That's why we have the representative.
Yes, the House of Rep members,
to make laws,
the House of Assembly
and all of
members,
that.
the distinguished senators, and all of that. So the Court of Appeal was saying that it is these people that should now think of institutions that they can create that would see to the enforcement of Chapter 2. That yes, the Constitution has said we, the judiciary, we cannot do anything, no. But the people themselves can do something. The lawmakers themselves can do something to enforce Chapter 2.
Especially the people. I can speak for the people. Okay. I'm one of the people. And I can say that the people have been speaking.
In fact, you are the people.
I'm the
you are the people.
Exactly. The people have been speaking.
Okay.
For example, during the election, the only thing I could do is to come out and vote. I'm not the one to determine that the vote will count, because we have the INEC who's supposed to do it. Like now, before the election, they told us there's going to be beavers and it's going to be, online transmission of results. Yes. As you are doing it, you are saying the result. And people came out with confidence. Yeah. But later, they said no. And then, even the judiciary, who's supposed to interpret the law, also say that they stand by what the INEC has said. Now, the truth about this thing is that from the Constitution,
yes,
the last hope of the common man is the judiciary, who's supposed to speak truth to power and speak truth to citizens. And when it is not done, it becomes a lacuna that is very difficult to cover. Because when truth is swept under the carpet, it discourages people. But now, like we're saying, what do we do as a people? Because we're talking to the Nigerian people.
Yes, we are talking to Nigerians now.
Power still belongs to the people. It is in the Constitution.
Yes.
But these people need to know
the Constitution
so that they can apply themselves in it.
Yeah.
Because what you don't know, you will not believe. Yes. What you don't believe, you will not become. What you don't become, you cannot produce. And what you do not produce can never exist. So it's a line of existence. And because they know that Nigerians don't know, it's just like
ignorance.
Go to the civil service now at the highest level. Most of them have not read the Constitution. They don't even know what it's all about. But they are serving Nigeria. These are supposed to be conditions for you. You cannot work for a country you do not know. You do not have an idea of how you should serve this country. Can you see the reason why people are mistaking and misusing their powers? So from leadership to the citizens, we do not know. Some of these people who are leading us today have never read the Constitution. Maybe a lawyer is helping them to say, sir, you can do this, but they don't know it. So they don't own it.
I recall a Nigerian once saying that for every government that comes to power, they come with their own constitution.
Exactly. Okay. You can
so outside, in fact, they just bring their own constitution.
Because, for example,
that the constitution that we were referring to, that we were talking about, does not exist. So, because we are running out of time, what do you think we should do? Because this program is talk and do.
Yeah.
CPDI. We are not just here to talk. We are here to talk, and our talk should lead us to actions. So what do you think are the actionable steps we should take after this show?
Well, for me, because of the nature of Chapter 2 and how important it is, I may not say that the whole citizens should start reading the Constitution.
Okay, why?
But reading all the Constitution, all the content of the Constitution.
Okay.
But Chapter 2 and Chapter 4 are key.
Okay, why do you say?
Why
did you include Chapter 4?
Why I include Chapter 4? Because Chapter 4 also spells out your own responsibility.
Your
Rights and responsibility, and your role. You understand?
Okay.
Because you have a right, but there's certain length you can exercise it.
Okay.
I don't know if you understand me.
Yeah, of course.
I have the right for freedom, but if I commit anything, if I become a criminal today, I can be arrested.
Yeah,
and then you can't say because I'm a citizen, my liberty. You know, at that point.
So, Chapter 4 of the Constitution and Chapter 2, yes, they are very important for Nigerians, you know, to be familiar with them. So the question is, how do we go about that? Recall that Nigeria is a package, a full package of the literate and the illiterate, the enlightened and the unenlightened.
Yeah.
So how do we ensure that? Of course, our target is the people at the grassroots. People that society has abandoned and perhaps treated like lepers, because when electoral offenses are to be perpetuated, these are the people. No one can come and tell me to go and snatch ballot box.
No, because we are enlightened, that you know.
So, though we have people who are doctors and professors that have been used. I think recently we read of a son that was, you know, leading people to go and snatch ballot box in one election that happened recently. So
even though he knows the Constitution, he never believed in it.
Okay, that's another dimension. So how do we make people know and believe?
One is that I don't know. It's a very big issue. Why I say so is because something we've not been doing for years. To now be able to cover the lapses. It's going to be difficult, but it's better to start now.
Okay, so
than
when
never.
Start?
What we must do is to see how to put this constitution in different Nigerian languages. Today now, if they tell every Nigerian, you must do this to get your passport or to get your NIN, you must understand the constitution. There are certain areas of the constitution they can say you have to understand it. That's when you can say you are a Nigerian. You can't be carrying Nigerian passport when you don't know the country you are serving. You know, if for example a government want to achieve what we're saying, they can go ahead and say, before you get anything, before you get a job, before you get appointments, you must show either by some taking some this thing to show that you have read, to fill a form, to know about,
test your knowledge of
exactly
a chapter of the
because if that becomes compulsory, every Nigerian will go ahead to read it. And then if we are able to put it in different Nigerian languages and also put it in audio, because they said
speak different Nigerian languages.
Yeah.
Which is yours? Mine is Yoruba. Yours is
mine is Igbo.
Oh, you are from the eastern part of Nigeria.
No, I'm from South. I'm from Delta. Igbo speaking part of Delta.
Oh, Igbo speaking.
Yeah, but it's Igbo. That's what we speak, and
okay,
that's
so it means you can assist in the translation, right?
Yeah.
Of the,
I may not be able to write Igbo very well, but like you mentioned, National Orientation Agency, they have all the Nigerian languages. They have individuals in National Orientation Agency.
Okay, so would it be useful for us to write a letter to the National Orientation Agency asking them to do this?
Yes, but it would have been easier if it is the government stepping out. You know why? Because these guys are already paid. Most times I've gone to a National Orientation Agency and I can tell you what they will reply. The reply they will give to you.
What reply?
That the resources. They don't have the resources to implement it. Yeah, so that's, and that matter might end.
Like it just kills the whole thing.
You understand? So, but now, you know, they said when the leaders refuse to lead the people will choose to lead themselves.
Okay.
Now, CPDI have to take a step further to see how do we bring this constitution to the ordinary Nigerians, because we're talking about reaching out to the grassroots, you know, in order for them to know the constitution. Maybe it could be a project that we can take up and we can start asking Nigerians in the social media who can help translate it into the different Nigerian languages.
We should call out.
We should call them. And let's begin to take responsibility because it's very important. And secondly, you know, talking about what to do, let every Nigerian, in listening to this program, make haste to read chapter 2 of the Nigerian Constitution.
Thank you very much, Chris,
Thank
for
you.
this very enlightening and interesting conversation. So we have come to the end of our program today around section 13 of chapter 2 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, as altered in 2023. You can follow the conversations and actions on our social media platforms to update yourself on the goings on around Talk and Do with CPDI show. Remember that for Nigeria to be great, we all need to do that which we ought to do as citizens of the country. We need to desire a new Nigeria. We need to believe in the fundamental objectives and directive principles of state policy. And we need to begin to respect individual rights and discharge our responsibilities as Nigerians. Until we come your way again, God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And we ask that all that we desire for our country, Nigeria, would come to pass.
Amen.
Amen.